Quite a busy week, by the way, right here in the nation's capital. And we're going to be talking about a lot of those things that happened during the week. And joining us for that conversation, PDP chieftain Dan Ulasi joins us this morning. Thank you so much for being with us. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yes, it's been a while.
It's been a while, actually.
I've been
almost 2 years now.
Almost 2 years. How have you been?
This is my first time in your Abuja office. I used to have programs.
Yes, because you used to be in the Lagos office. I used to see you with interviews in the Lagos office.
Yes, it's Lagos office.
Well, welcome to Abuja.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right, let's start off with a few of the things that we started talking about, some of the trending stories during the week. Let's start off with that. I don't know if you saw the video. I doubt if you saw it. I don't know if you did. So there's this prom culture abroad, and they've started doing it in Nigeria, where kids in secondary school, when they're passing out, first of all, there's that whole show of money, and then we now saw extravagant displays of wealth. And then after that, we're now seeing another story of a church where children were being brought and were being flogged by the pastor. Are we playing with the younger generation?
Well, I will make a summary by telling you that, unfortunately, this country is not a function of statistics. This is the only country in the world where 1 + 1 could be 10, could be 100, and people sign underneath it. And it's pretty unfortunate because we should be in a position now to be using the power of example instead of the example of power. That's a very dangerous thing that is happening. Authority race in a regimented formality that you're here because of some authority giving you reference the function you perform. It's not any wishful thinking. That's what you do on a day-to-day basis, and it's appreciated by people. And that's an authority you exercise in informing the public. And that's good work. But others inform the public by stealing. They take vows of unsurpassed devotion to stealing money. That is why we are where we are. Every day, like you were telling somebody before this program started, we are repeating the same thing time and time again, that in a country like Nigeria, they can't even tell you how many we are. If you're married to one woman, you know God has given you 2 or 3 or 4 children. If you have 2 wives, you exactly know the number of children you have to plan for it. Can this country exactly tell you how many we are? It's a whole, unparalleled falsity that we are parading because population is used to share money. And so it's just unfortunate that this is, I don't see anything changing soon because when I see that authorities, rest on regimented formality. So in this regimented formality, we also have a tendency towards having some kind of reflective instinct towards self-preservation. In that self-preservation, some people will be stoking paranoia. And once you start stoking paranoia, you set fears into people, and it becomes unfortunate. That's how our country has gone for a very long time, and we're still practicing it.
Do you feel like, is there a way that we can rejig our value system in this country? Or are we too far gone?
Well, to be honest with you, I believe, even though I was telling somebody not quite long ago that Nigeria has become an embodiment of, self-doubt. Nobody believes anything anymore. When you hear a president or a governor or somebody telling you something, go and look at it. 99% of it is not true. It's not true because in a country where we have 774 local governments, my dear, water is not running anywhere. So if people in authority also have control to air that you and I breathe, we would have died a long time ago. Ordinary water. If you have good water for people, it will guarantee good health because, water goes with a lot of waterborne diseases, goes with a lot of things. But they don't even have conscience to think that ordinary water that won't cost you much, their citizens will not take it. So we have fundamental problems, which I think, I'm one of those who don't lose hope. But like you said, it's becoming increasingly obvious whether we are really going in the in the proper direction. Yes, I pray that someday, because we have a history in this country of performance. A time there was, if you were from the northern part of the country, you hear of Ahmadu Bello. As of today, nobody will show you a single portion of land, plot of land owned by Ahmadu Bello. Not a building to be shown you, this belongs to Ahmadu Bello. And he was premier here for more than 12 years. from Eastern region, Dr. M.I. Okpara was premier for a long time. Nobody, when he died, people contributed money, including my humble self, to bury him in Umuahia. The same thing with Shifa Awolowo. In fact, he was the only one you could say had one or two properties. That was selfless service in this country that people emulated. Is this happening today? That when a governor is leaving a government house to a function in the city where he runs the affairs of the state, about 13, 17 SUVs are on the loan, almost all of them empty. That recklessness, executive recklessness, combined with legislative recklessness, we have a long way to go. And that informs for a revolution. But a revolution not, because when you use the word revolution, people think it's a military coup. No. We have to decide amongst others that enough is enough. We have to change the course of history.
Well, let's talk politics, because you are a PDP chieftain.
Yes.
This zoning that's been done right now, do you think that the zoning plan of the People's Democratic Party will help them wrestle power away from the APC?
Well, I'm a member of the zoning committee.
Yes.
And that's why I came into town yesterday, and we had a beautiful meeting yesterday. You know, we had to do a lot of autopsy, all forms of autopsy. You know, when you had the control of about 26 states, and suddenly you fall down to about 10. That's a lot of informative diary to look into. What are the problems pursuant to what is going on? And I think we have a new resourcefulness, enthusiasm amongst members that something has to be different. And if something has to be different, we have to be different from APC. But unfortunately, like I said, there's no APC, there's no PDP. When you look at the two parties, you know, you don't know where somebody is and when he lives. Look at Delta State, the whole state.
Yes, but Chief, you've not answered my question.
Yeah,
because the question has been
yes,
about the zoning. If PDP zones to the south, what southerner are you going to field that will be able to beat Tinubu?
Well, you know, there's no constitutional provision for about zoning.
I know that. But it's a gentlemanly arrangement between the ruling class.
What the Constitution says is about giving everybody a sense of belonging. They call it a federal character. I think that's the definition of a sense of belonging, a federal character. If you are there, let somebody else be there. It's not only you. So presently, for some time now, it does appear there's a relationship. The North goes for 8 years, the South goes for 8 years, unwritten. So every party appears to be wanting to observe that. So as it is now, Tinubu is doing his first 4 years, if he's lucky to finish the 4 years, because the rate of crisis and poverty and hunger in the country, I just hope nothing, you know, traumatic happens. So if that is the case, therefore PDP has to get a candidate from the South. Which South has to be determined internally. You know, like I said again, to give everybody a sense of belonging, you know, federal character. The Southwest has had presidency, this is their second presidency. The South-South has had Jonathan. So I think it's the turn of the Southeast to produce a president. And I believe...
Are you reaching out to Peter Obi?
Well, I believe first, without trying to particularize, if the PDP zones presidency to the Southeast and a Southeasterner comes out to be president of this country, we would have achieved one thing. That would be the end of the Civil War, officially the end of the Civil War. That would be the first time the people from that zone is given a sense of belonging. Yeah, we fought a war, losing hundreds of thousands of lives on both sides. Now you are back. You are part of the system.
Are you reaching out to Peter Obi?
Well,
because the word on the street is that when Jonathan was, I have no proof of this,
yes,
but that when former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan was approached, that he said, go and bring back Atiku and Peter Obi to the PDP if you want me to join you. So two things. Are you reaching out to Peter Obi? Are you reaching out to Atiku Abubakar? And are there calls for former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan to be the flag bearer for your party?
Well, I can't talk of Atiku Abubakar because he's left PDP now. He's resigned. Okay. So he's become irrelevant as long as PDP is concerned. Peter Obi, we're trying to see whether we can get him back into the party. And if we get him back, it will be a big advantage. You know, where Igbos have a saying that where you see a small child crying and pointing hands, if his mother is not there, his father is there. So if majority of people in this country are looking towards Peter Obi, there must be some qualities he has that majority of citizens believe if translated for good use, this country will be a lot better than it is today.
What about Goodluck Ebele Jonathan?
Well, he has done 6 years, and I wish him the best of luck. If he wants to get back to the party, it will be an easy sell for Tinubu, because he has nothing else to offer.
You think so?
Yes, he has nothing else to offer. Well, see, when you run a government for 6 years, what was spectacular in his 6 years? He's a PDP. I met him more than 5 times when he was president. I don't want to discuss that, but there has to be something extraordinary you offer as a leader, because leadership is about results, not speech making, creating enmity. You have to have a reference point, because if you look at Peter Obi, go to Anambra, 8 years of governorship, he translated education and health. These are achievements you cannot see overnight. But when you look at the antecedent results from WAEC or NEC and see where Anambra is, then you will know what it wasn't achieved overnight.
Before I bring in Ayo, I thought your answer was going to be different, because a lawyer yesterday sent me a section of the Constitution, 137 subsection 3 of the Constitution. It says a person who's sworn in to complete the term for which another person was elected as president shall not be elected to such office for more than a single term. And he was explaining to me that even though many people may be calling for Goodluck Ebele Jonathan to run again, that he may not be eligible to, based on this section of the Constitution. But of course, it's subject to a lot of interpretation. So you don't think he's going to bring anything to the table? If he does,
yes, let me tell you why. I just made a reference here. The person who is president of Nigeria today is a very strategically thinking person. Anybody who takes him for granted is a political fool. I'm one person who doesn't take Tinubu for granted. And you need an astute, God-fearing, hard-working politician to really start thinking of how he will face him. And therefore, to that direction, Peter Obi becomes relevant. Because a lot of people in this country accept him for one reason or the other. They accept him. As immaculate, he's honest, he's hard-working. He's one politician that has never had a serious accusing finger towards him.
All right. My colleague in Lagos has a few questions for you. Go ahead, Ayo.
Thank you, Kayla. My question, sir, will go more in the direction of the opposition politics that is going on. Over time, particularly since 2015, it would seem like the opposition had dwindled over time. And there are those who are saying that the PDP may not ever be able to offer that kind of opposition, formidable opposition against maybe the APC for now and whoever else will come on in the next future. So there are those who are wondering, sir, for you, how formidable is this whole ADC coalition and some others that may spring up in the coming months?
You can see the ADC thing is part of desperation. It is part of desperation, because in that concept called ADC, you see PDP people there, Labour people there, and even some APC people who are disgruntled for whatever reason are also there. But they have not been officially registered as a party. To the best of my knowledge, if they have been registered, it must be something that happened last night. It's still in the formative stage. But I'm not talking about that. I'm a PDP. The day I leave PDP, I resigned entirely from politics. So I believe that if there is proper organization, even though Tinubu is a very strong strategic politician, it will be a lot easier to start thinking seriously how to, bring him down. But like I said, it's going to be a very hard exercise, requiring very serious thinking and planning, because seriously, they don't have any reference to make. 2 years now, what reference, serious, can they make? Because after 8 years of Muhammadu Buhari's disaster, there was virtually no governance. And I have to give, one kudos to President Tinubu. I'm not in his party. But I will say that after the disaster that was President Muhammadu Buhari, any other person who took over the governance of this country would have found the same problem he's passing through. The only difference will be the methodology with which you want to solve some of the problems, which I don't think they are really very exact in what they want to do. They have managed to stabilize the economy like Dr. Mrs. Okonjo-Iweala said, and is one brilliant woman I have very high respect for. So if she makes that open statement, then we'll have to consider something good is happening. But to what extent has this impacted on the common person in this country? That's a question the government has to answer.
But then the parties themselves, the ADC and those who have sentiments for the ADC and similar other coalitions, continue to, of course, foment their own battles and all. Do you think they could have, given the people who are part of this coalition, the Chief Rotimi Amechi, Atiku Abubakar, Rufai, Rauf Aregbesola, David Mark, and so many others like them, don't you think there is cause for concern, even for the PDP, given the challenges that the PDP has been having over time? Don't you think with their political capital, political machinery and all, there is something of concern?
Well, you know, when I started talking, I made a reference to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He's a strategic politician. And you can use the word strategy in different, perspectives. We have different meanings for different people, And you can see how he's gradually dismantling even the PDP. Look at what happened in Delta. The whole government, the whole members of the National and State Assembly left. Almost the same thing happened in Akwa Ibom State. But you see the danger of the country called Nigeria. It is supposed that if you leave your party, especially if you're a member of the National Assembly and State Assembly, without any division in your party, you will resign your office. But have they tried to implement that part of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? That is why I said that this country is not a function of statistics. It's only place 1 + 1 could be 10, could be 100, and we appear to be complacent with it. Until now that hunger and starvation has really crippled into the Nigerian society, that people are really seriously thinking. And I think this serious thinking is part of the reason why the ADC was formed. But the question would be, who are the people who formed this ADC? Majority of them have been in power. Some have been governors for 8 years, ministers for 8 years. What reference could they bring to bear now on the new Nigerian situation? That is the question Nigerians will be able to ask in the next couple of months before 2027.
One of the things that's also played out, and I think you have also referenced that in a way, is that there's been cross-party efforts, particularly even within the PDP, drawing some from here and there, and some other people leaving. So do you see any past cross-party returns or high-profile re-entries that could affect the fate of the APC from the PDP in particular? Do you really see the PDP pulling any surprise in the build-up to the 2027 elections?
PDP has one advantage. They had been in power for almost 16 years in this country, so it's not, they don't have a problem of introductory rhetoric. Most people in this country, even if we were born 10 years ago, we know there is a party called People's Democratic Party. All we are trying to do from our meeting yesterday and 2 weeks ago, we had the founders meeting, we had NEC meeting, trying to really reorganize towards the future, which is not what I'll say publicly on television. But I can assure you that the PDP is working hard, working very, very hard, with eyes towards the Nigerian people. If we had made mistakes in the past, we're in a position to rectify it. Because the example they say is the best teacher. Historically speaking, we have an idea what to do. And a lot of young people are coming into the party. And yesterday we saw, very significant changes in what has been going on in the past. Most of our governors are thinking anew, trying to do one thing different from the other. So I hope that we'll be able, by the grace of God, to give this country a new initiative, a new hope. Realistic hope, not umbrella hope, that if there is heavy downpour, the umbrella might break down. A hope that Nigerian people can depend on for the future.
That sounds like you are thinking of rebranding the PDP from the umbrella, but that's not the issue here. There are those who are looking at the fact that the challenges that the PDP is encountering now date back at least 14 years, from 2011, spiraled in 2015 into what it became. And once it left federal power, the PDP has not been able to recoup itself. Now, for anyone to consider that the PDP has anything to offer now, one would expect that the PDP would take up the function of playing opposition politics and offering alternative perspectives to what is currently going on in Nigeria. While you are squabbling, while the PDP is squabbling with its internal issues, we expect that the PDP, as a strong opposition, a formidable opposition, should be offering alternative views that Nigerians can latch onto. We aren't having or hearing any of that yet.
Well, I don't know exactly what you want them to be doing, short of, having press interviews like I'm doing. I've had interviews on AIT, I had on Arise Television and so many other forums. So many of our party people are doing it. And we are happy we are doing it because from what happened yesterday and about 2-3 weeks ago, we can see that a lot more people are interested in what is going on in PDP, especially those who are getting dissatisfied with the lack of hope in the present administration. So it is not what is going to happen overnight, but I can assure you, in the next couple of months, before 2027, something, there has to be a resurgence of a new PDP. Yesterday, we saw a new emergence of that kind of a resurgence. Again, if they do the rightful thing, by zoning offices where they should be zoned with a view to energizing people around those areas to support the party for the future. That's very important.
All right, well, there's never enough time to discuss Nigeria's politics and finish. It's not impossible to totally finish it. So I'm just going to get you to say your parting words to the Nigerian people and those who are looking at the PDP and saying, "No, this place is dead now." No faith in its ability to be a formidable opposition. It has been a very disappointing run. What do you say to the Nigerian people?
Well, I will appeal to my countrymen and women. We have 10 governors, and let them go to the states where we're governing. Excellent work is being done there. Go to Bauchi, for instance. Go to Enugu State. It's about the best performing governor in this country. But you don't know what informs people when they move from this party to that party, like it happened in Akwa Ibom and Delta. Yes. It's unfortunate. I've been talking with the governors, and what they are seeing where they have moved to is unfortunate. They feel engaged in a spectacle. They can't go forward or
well, you're saying those who have defected are regretting doing that?
Because there has been a lot of pressure on them before they moved. When I started talking, I said that this government is led by a very strategic politician, and I use the word strategic to mean a lot of things. Okay. And I'm not one person who takes President Tinubu for granted. So if we have to fight for power, we have to fight for it very seriously.
PDP chieftain Dan Ulasi, thank you very much for being with us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
We're going to short break, and when we come back, we've got to be talking about education, NEL Fund, to be precise. Stay with us.